Evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing? It's all kicking off in Rochdale tonight, and I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, I know why it's kicking off in Rochdale. It's because of that big famous story that happened a few years ago that nobody likes to talk about anymore. No, not that one. Nobody. That's boring. What you bringing that one up for, eh? Bigot. What you bringing that one up for? There was only a few hundred underage kids got diddled, tortured, and occasionally killed, or set on fire, or whatever else they got up to above those merchants of ill repute that the drunkards like. Sorry, kebab shops. No sense scratching the scabs off those old wounds. No, it's not that. This is a much more important thing to get angry about. So what I'll do is I'll read you the BBC's fictional version of events, and then I'll tell you what really happened. Easy. Police officer suspended after airport kicking video. I will put the link in the description, but obviously this is YouTube, so therefore we can't have any fun, even if it involves a bobby giving someone a bit of a shoe-in on the internet. A police officer has been suspended after a video circulated online of a man being kicked and stamped on the head at Manchester Airport. Bless him. I bet he didn't do anything wrong, and you wouldn't think so reading the BBC. An officer has been removed from all duties after a thorough review of further information of the incident, which took place on Tuesday, Greater Manchester Police confirmed. The footage showed a uniformed male officer holding a taser over the man, who was lying on the ground at Terminal 2 before kicking him twice at about 20:30 BST. The man, that's all you'll get told about him. Like the hero from a Tolkien novel, who will deliver us from evil? Just a man, no more than that. Mayor of Greater Manchester Andy Burnham, who has met the Home Secretary over the incident, has appealed for calm. So a bloke getting kicked. I mean, he doesn't even have any serious injuries. I've been kicked in the head plenty of times. Okay, I'll do the funnies round here if anyone brings up me talking like I've got a concussion. No major injuries, nothing the matter with him. And it's gone right to the top. It's headline news all around the world, and it's gone to the Home Secretary because the man got a kick in the head. You should try getting put in the back of a meat wagon in Middlesbrough Town Centre when you've had a few drinks. The coppers will give you a good shoe in then, and nothing will get said about it. Well, if you look like me. After the meeting, Yvette Cooper said she understood the widespread distress the footage had caused, adding she had spoken to police about the urgent steps they are taking. She said it was essential police had the trust of communities, and the public rightly expect high standards from those in charge of keeping us safe. Greater Manchester Police said it understood the deep concerns that had been widely raised, and the footage sparked protests outside of Rochdale Police Station on Wednesday night, with hundreds of people chanting "Shame on you." But hundreds of people didn't gather to protest when hundreds of children ended up with a... what's a polite way of saying it without the platform getting angry at me? Ended up with a severe limp as a result of getting folded up like a deck chair and passed around the gang. Sorry, the endemic gang, as in grooming gang, of which there were dozens operating in Rochdale for decades, with hundreds, if not thousands, of victims. And Greater Manchester Police and the Home Office and Yvette Cooper and Keir Starmer and everybody else is going to get name dropped in this story pretended it didn't happen because they didn't want you to find out that the people that were doing it all had, shall we say, a little bit of a tan. Does that narrow it down? You have to watch what you say. What else can I think of to describe them accurately? Big fans of an epileptic midget who got married to a 9-year-old. Does that narrow it down for you? Without falling afoul of the censors? In the build-up to the incident shown in the clip, so they are going to tell us something about why the man was on the floor. Firearms officers had been punched to the ground after trying to make an arrest following a fight in the airport. It wasn't a fight in the airport. It wasn't three drunks fell out of the Weatherspoons and started rucking with each other. The fight ensued because the bloke that you were seeing getting hoofed in the mouth was a full-blown criminal wanted by the police, and when the firearms cops tried to arrest him, he promptly broke the nose of a female police officer. That's what happened, and the BBC will try to use They'll give you 10 paragraphs of nonsense about how bad the police are, but they won't tell you what really happened in clear terms about the criminals, because they don't want you to know about the criminals. They want you to cry about the coppers. And I don't know about you, but where I come from, if a bloke breaks an innocent woman's nose, a wanted criminal breaks an innocent woman's nose, every man within a 50-yard radius will be queuing up to tap dance on his face. If anything, the copper was quite restrained, because you're going to get a little bit emotional if some horrible criminal sexual deviant breaks the nose of your female partner, aren't you? There was a clear risk their weapons could be taken from them, the police spokesman said, adding that 3 had been taken to hospital and 1 with a broken nose. Yeah, a woman with a broken nose. 4 men were later arrested on suspicion of assault and affray, and all have since been bailed. Of course they have. And they're not mentioning the prior convictions that they've all got, or the open arrest warrants that are out for them. It remains unclear what led to the incident, but Mr. Burnham said he thought there'd been an issue on a flight coming into Manchester. Amar Minas from Leeds was travelling through the terminal with his family when he saw officers approach the man to arrest him. They pinned him up against a wall, he told the BBC, before another man tried to intervene and a fight broke out, with the pinned man throwing punches until he was tasered to the floor when the officer kicked him. Yeah, they pinned him up against the wall so they could arrest him. That's how you arrest people. What do you think you do? Politely ask them to escort you into the cells? It doesn't work that way. Generally, if you want to arrest people, you have to touch them. You absolute plank. Keir Starmer said he completely understands the public's concern over the footage. And Dal Babu... Yep, fine upstanding English gentleman. He said racism played a part in the incident. Ludicrous. Racism played a part in the incident. Not being a convicted felon throwing punches into a policewoman's face. Yeah, none of that. Just bigotry. Cheers then. Honestly, the British police, I don't want to praise them at this point because they've dug their own grave and they deserve it. They're getting no sympathy from me. But at the end of the day, let's look at this with dispassionately. If the coppers were American, they were waiting at an airport to arrest some criminals, and then the criminals started windmilling in a policewoman's face, all of them would get ventilated. Not only would they get ventilated, they'd get shot 87 times, because that's what they do out here. And the public would do, well, they'd do what Nelson the Bully does. Ha ha. Nobody would give a single forlorn shite about the death of, well, a drain on taxpayers' resources. To quote Dirty Harry, he's done the taxpayers a favour and took out the trash. That would be the opinion of the American public. If a bloke windmilling in a policewoman's face got slotted in an airport, one of the only places where you really do know if you've got the IQ of a pull-along duck, that you don't start punching coppers, do you? But that's just my opinion. What do I know, eh? Let me know what you think in the comments. If you think it's perfectly reasonable and acceptable to windmill in policewomen's faces in airports, and you shouldn't expect any form of violence in return from the police, even a kick by a man holding a machine gun. Yeah, definitely didn't get off lightly there, did you? If you think that because you're, called Cressida or Tarquin, and you read The Guardian and have bones that snap as soon as you leap off a curb with any rigorous effort, please let me know in the comments below so I can mock you furiously, alright? And to everybody else, the sane people watching, I hope you enjoyed that. Links are in the description if you want to go and watch the video yourself. It's not really that big of a deal. And yeah, I'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. Toodle pip. Cheers.